have some kind of virus in it.
Some kind of weapon system you want to create that will shoot an energy beam that can install some kind of malicious software into the Borg collective consciousness. Well,
you know, it doesn't happen straight away. It just, you know, it's a slow process.
Just attach something to an email about nanobot enlargement.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, okay, that's it. Nanobots.
Or, you know, put them in touch. Go on, sorry.
I like how our residential Borg is trying to figure out a way to get rid of the actual Borg.
No, I'm not perfectly honest. I don't want to, like, destroy them. I want them to be clean slates, so I can become the queen. I mean, you know, release all those people.
You may have made a bit of a slip there, Dave. Do you sure you wanted to? I think you said the quiet part out loud.
Oh God!
The truth has come out finally.
Oh,
Flesk will support the idea of the virus if it can be used in the interim as a proof of concept by taking over Dominion ships remotely, or Cardassian ships. Yeah, there you go. It's useful now as well as later.
I tell you what. Oh no, we haven't got a board. Oh, I don't know. Maybe Starfleet intelligence. If I ask them really nicely and tell them that I'm not going to keep on sending them
computer viruses.
Computer viruses for the
I was about to say, of all people to negotiate something with Starfleet intelligence, maybe you're not the best one.
This is why I've got 2 favours with an admiral.
Yeah, and you got to imagine how long that's going to last under the pace you're going. So.
I'd like to point out Tavish has been actually, like...
rather well behaved? Yeah, sure.
She has. For her.
But it's like the internet always remembers, so, you know, I'm just saying.
That's just a testament to the rehabilitation of her time in the brig.
Well, when you put it like that.
Hold on, when did I go in the brig?
When did
yeah. I made myself.
Yes, you did. Right, give me a couple of seconds, folk. We will just throw up the intro video, giving my folks here a bit more time to chew. We'll see you in a couple of seconds. Hello folks, and welcome along to the continuing adventures of the Klingon ship Do Qe'Bach. I am MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for the next couple of hours. With me are the crew of the Do Qe'Bach. And, well, we were just discussing the finer points of future endeavours, shall we say, and why maybe some certain crew members aren't the most mentally stable ones to partake in creating these things. Nevertheless, let's move away from my smiling face. Bring us back to where we actually want to be.
Gurkha needs to really, like,
try harder.
Yeah.
But we're not with the Combs crew today. We are with the crew of the Do Qe'Bach. So we have Captain Qe'Bach, Commander Tre'gok, Dr. O'Keefe, Lieutenant Shalatha, and Lieutenant Junior Grade Madeleine Bonnet, currently on exchange from the USS Combs to the IKS Do Qe'Bach. So, excuse me. Hello, suitable substrate. Nice to see you again. Yes, for those who haven't just I have in fact discovered the chat-related shenanigans that were going on that were preventing people from actually posting to chat. What can I say? A, I'm an idiot, and B, Twitch have introduced a lot of extra functionality in order to try and be helpful these last couple of months that I lost track of some of the settings that they put. So it's Wonderful to read you again, Substrate. Welcome back to Star Trek with me and my gang. Really pleased to see you again. Cool! Well, that lifted me up, as well as having my guys here. So, before we get into anything, I am going to do our usual plug of Chris's channel.
Hello, same as always for myself. I did star in I guest starred in a podcast recently, just about like smaller creators and that, and so just have something to show for myself soon. Yeah, working on the Dragon Quest HD trilogy video now, aiming to try and get that out next month. I say as a challenge to myself, really.
Nice. And you're our star, Chris. That's all that matters.
Thank you.
Well then, moving back. So, the IKS Do Qe'Bach took the offer of, well, gave their offer of help to this glowing blue entity that identified themselves as Ash Tamalia of the Tilical, and opened a number of spatial doorways to another dimension, where she offered her hand for those who would help her and her people. And it was the crew of the Do Qe'Bach that took her hand and were drawn into this other dimension, this other layer of subspace. And, well, the Do Qe'Bach was already pretty banged up from gravitational eddies and whatnot, and then was damaged even further by the transition into this other dimension. That the Do Qe'Bach itself is a pretty beaten up ship at this point, but they have discovered that they are in some strange pocket realm in subspace, where there are frequent bursts of electromagnetic radiation that seem to be ambient to this dimension as a whole, and these bursts were causing some power outages or some sensor ghosts, as well as group hallucinations amongst the crew. So, as well as trying to repair their own ship, they had to devise a way to try and shield themselves from the damaging effects of this EM radiation. And just when they thought they were getting a handle on keeping their ship together and warding themselves against this radiation, they discovered that they were in a kind of a bubble, an isolated bubble, which seemed to be what's allowing their three-dimensional existence and their laws of physics to persist within this strange bubble of existence within this realm. But there were other bubbles out there too, and one of them made contact with yours, and you had a visit to the bridge of your ship by a Vulcan Starfleet officer who said her name was Turin, and that she used to be a member of the USS Combs crew. But just as suddenly as she appeared on the bridge, she came out of phase and was expelled from your bubble. But you also wanted to try and get in contact with Ash Tamalia, who briefly made contact with yourselves, again noting that you had made it into this pocket dimension, said something about they'd been waiting years for you before contact with her was lost. So you've embarked on a number of attempts to try and A, figure out what's going on, and B, try and get hold of anybody who can tell you what's going down. You did manage to actually open communications with Ash Tamalia of the Tilical to the point where it seemed to actually draw her onto your bridge. And that's where we find ourselves. Now, as we can see here, the bridge of the IKS Do Qe'Bach is still pretty beaten up. Lieutenant Shalatha, your chief engineer, has had to try and juggle coordinating repair teams with trying to also adapt systems on the fly to what's going on. In typical Klingon fashion, you did try shooting your way out of this bubble. They are go faster holes. Yeah, you're streamlined. But shooting into the bubble seemed to have weird effects where it seems there was almost like an echo or a future echo as well of every time you attempted to use your weapons on the bubble, something odd happened time-wise and didn't seem to net you much. But you have since managed to successfully open a communication channel which allowed Stash Tamale to be brought in, but since your communications system has now gone kaput, it overloaded and exploded. Didn't hurt anybody, but you have now lost your communication system for the time being. You brought Ash Tamalia on board. She seems to assume now that this means that you are going to help her, but if I remember correctly, somebody had a question for her, or a couple of questions for her. So, this is where we find ourselves. Before we embark upon the rest of this episode, is there anything I've forgotten, or is there anything somebody thinks they've forgotten and need reminding of, or a clarification of the situation as we find ourselves?
I've definitely forgotten stuff, but it's not relevant to this mission, so I don't need anything.
Why do you think that? What do you think you've forgotten that's not relevant? What kind? I mean, if you've remembered what it was, then you would know if it was relevant. But...
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for that.
Would I?
I'm sure I can just shoot the problem when I remember it.
Sure. Okay, so we are on the bridge. Take that away. We don't want that. So, Ash Tamalia has appeared. It is assuming that you are here to help her. They are go faster holes, and apparently Bonnet agrees with the go faster holes. Well, she would, wouldn't she? So, I mean, Captain Qe'Bach, you now have this Tilical person on your ship, which is still pretty busted up. What would you like to do? How would you like to proceed?
How far away from me? So, it was the Fuludos who took Shalatha's place in the engineering room, right?
True. You sent your operations officer off to just coordinate the repair teams so that that job could be taken away from your chief engineer.
First of all, I would like a status report, and then ask Ash Tamalia what we can help with, and does she know about the existence of Lieutenant Turin?
Aha, okay. So, if we're looking for an overall status report, the status of the ship, according to your science officer and your tactical officer and your chief engineer, is currently, your main deflector has been retrofitted so that it is currently trying to repel the majority of these EM radiation bursts. Your doctor has also administered successfully some treatments to the crew so that they can also resist the effects of the EM radiation on their brains. But your chief medical officer will tell you that the presence of this EM radiation is still very much still a threat, and so you are still on a countdown to however long it takes before radiation exposure becomes dangerous to lethal. Your shields are up to as high as they can go, but you have lost a number of shield emitters to the battle with the Romulans before you entered this pocket dimension. Your communications system is currently down. Your computer system took a hit but is more or less functioning again. Your engineering section took a hit but is more or less functioning again. Your ship's superstructure has taken one hell of a whack, and even though it's been shored up in places, breaches like welded shut and dents hammered out as much as they can be, you still... The ship, if it takes any more structural beatings, we're looking at serious problems. Your weapons systems have also taken a knock, but at the moment they're functional. Your tractor beam is offline. Your emergency force fields for structural integrity and the like, and for trying to stop people getting sucked out into space, they are on the fritz. Some are operational, some are not. So, again, if you take more structural damage and breaches open, who's to say if the emergency force fields do actually manage to come online in those sections? Your port nacelle is also offline. You only have one functioning warp nacelle. Plus, you've got some actual structural damage to your aft shuttle bay and your aft navigational deflector. So that's the rundown of everything that's currently wrong with your ship.
So, combat ready. Gotcha.
So still combat ready, but, you know, if you get into a combat situation, then you are going to need to be extraordinarily careful with how much of a structural beating your systems take, your ship takes. I believe you had only 2 fatalities in your crew and a small number of injuries. Of serious injuries spread throughout the crew from your initial transition into this space. They have since been patched up by Dr. O'Keither and her medical crew. And if you'll just excuse me a second, I am experiencing some definite lag on my display of this. So I'm just going to check my settings a moment. I'm on medium performance mode. I'm going to switch this into high and hit my frame rate to be 60. If the system kicks you out and reloads you, don't worry. It should just be my changes, but on the off chance it does reload for you guys, that's me changing some of the settings here, so... Yeah, it's kicked me out, so I don't know if it's kicked you out.
Still here.
Still there? Okay, cool. I was hoping that would be the case. Is that smoother sailing? Not really. Okay, this has been a problem during the last couple of days for the Forge servers for me. So this is probably... it's somebody else's problem becoming my problem a little bit. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I've still got some lag. Okay. If you guys experience any lag or anything like that, do let me know, because if this persists, I need to tell the people who manage the servers that this is a problem. So, first world problems, eh? I mean, I'm assuming everyone else's performance is so far okay on what they can see.
Yeah, I don't know anything so far. But I've not really made any rolls or anything yet, so keep an eye on it.
Playing with the doors, okay. Yeah, but now Liz has to have a go as well. Fair enough, fair enough. Everything's working for everybody else. Okay, cool. So the next question that Captain Javak wanted to ask was to Mash Tamalia, I believe. So what was the question again?
Oh, just like, what can we do to help? And do you know of Lieutenant Turin?
So Ash Tamalia kind of cocks her head to one side, and she's still glowing slightly, so her form is still very much luminescent. And she's like, Lieutenant Turin? Oh, you mean... And she reaches out one hand off to her side. She seems to close her eyes and concentrate for all of a moment, before there's a flash of light, and Lieutenant Turin is just suddenly there, and comes into full and complete focus. And Turin looks rather surprised. She's still there, in her EV suit with the helmet off, and she just finds herself all of a sudden on the Do Qe'Bach bridge, and she's, even for a Vulcan, she's taken aback. Oh my! And Ashtamalia puts her hand down.
Ah, we've saved you. We can bring you back when we're done here.
Oh, indeed, says Turin. My thanks, Captain Ashtamalia. Very good. But she warily stands off to one side, but she seems to be gravitating more towards Bonnet, because of the Starfleet uniform. That's the one thing that's familiar. So Turin is very much stepped off to one side, and Bonnet can see that she's got that Vulcan pinch of muscles in between her eyebrows, where she's obviously furiously trying to figure things out, but is trying also very hard not to let any emotion show, like Vulcans
Yes,
do.
yes. The ship's taken a bit of a battering. If you can help out, that'd be great.
So yeah, Turin's looking around and is sidling up to Bonnet and just goes, well, status report, Ensign... Pardon me, Lieutenant, junior grade. Apparently my eyes are taking a bit of time to focus. It occurs to me, however, that I may not have used them so much for some time.
Probably. Status report is a bunch of holes in the ship. Not my doing.
Interesting that you would volunteer that addendum to that statement so quickly. I see. She starts trying to key in commands to your control panel, but as we know, Bonnet has her command console, her console commands laid out in a specific fashion unique to her, at which point Turin seems to give up and then goes, can you bring up a ship status report for me, please, Lieutenant? Meanwhile,
She probably hit a button on the complete opposite side of the panel that brings it up.
Yeah. You mean this button here? Did it? That is indeed an awful lot of damage. I see. Now, yes, Turin goes, I must confess, my expertise is mostly in xenoarchaeology and xenoanthropology and astrophysics. But I can lend a hand wherever you think I am needed. I have some expertise mostly in science, but some in engineering. Ashtamalia, meanwhile, during that exchange, turns to Captain Qe'Bach, who in turn turns back to her. We require your assistance in escaping from this dimension, Captain. We have been wrongfully imprisoned here.
Do you have any... What is it about this that has made your people unable to escape? What can we do?
Yes, indeed. She seems to consider this for a moment and says, yes, some explanation is definitely needed. But this is not the place to do it. This needs to be more illustrative. At which point, she seems to concentrate again, and something happens. Let me take your character tokens and whisk you away to a different location, or indeed a different map. So, you suddenly all feel frozen in place. Your muscles are unable to heed your mental commands to move. And pins and needles start shooting through all of your extremities. And you all gain a splitting migraine headache. Your surroundings melt away to nothing. As a soundless darkness descends. You cannot see each other, you cannot see anything else around you. There is still that throbbing pain in your head, but that eventually that pain disappears to be replaced by this strange numbness, which itself is then soon gone, leaving nothing at all. Leaving you aware only of your own thoughts. No physical sensations whatsoever, which as physical beings is extremely disconcerting to each and every one of you. And then suddenly, overwhelmingly, all your senses flood back, and you find yourselves in an entirely different place. Going to change the ambience here. Can you all see this new place?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're all scattered about in roughly the same configuration you would have been were you on the bridge of your ship. With...
No, I haven't.
I hate when it gives me a different character when we change maps.
What was that, sorry?
Oh, I typed something and it went to Commander Tre'gok instead
Oh.
of freaking Bonnie.
Right, so you are in a place. You find yourself on a vast stony plain with vague representations of what you recognize as Tilical architecture, stretching as far as you can see into the horizon, but the main difference here being that these structures are fully intact, and whereas before you have seen various representations of Tilical architecture in various states of stasis or even ruin, this definitely gives you the impression of a place in its active, not exactly heyday, but when the place is obviously more alive. The veins and traceries of circuitry through all the various different structures are now alive with glowing blue energy. But there is an arid wind that howls between these kilometer-high towers, and dust is blowing up into your faces and your eyes, such that sometimes when the odd gust happens you need to put your hand up in front of your face to protect yourself. There are painfully bright flashes of blue energy zigzagging across the sky, with deafening thunderclaps reverberating in such a fashion that you can actually physically feel it. Sometimes making you gasp for breath. You can feel that crack-a-boom inside of your chest. And even though there's only a smattering of Tilical characters here on screen, there are actually many, many more, all spread around, shining blue but very much translucent, wandering around these streets and between these structures. They don't seem to take any notice of you. In fact, some of them, rather disconcertingly, walk straight through you at times. Ashtamalia is the only one you actually recognize, and she is currently just standing still, seemingly either allowing you time to process what is going on, or herself slightly disassociated from being able to recognize you. Bonnet, am I a ghost? Well, does Bonnet look like a ghost at the moment?
That's what she thinks when something goes through her.
All right. Okay, fine. So, what you doing? What would you
Right,
like?
what do we need to shoot to get out of here? Captain?
Tre'gok, stand down!
Where's my
But
control?
shooting worked last
I
time.
have-
This is clearly
I have
a
nothing to
dimension for
control.
shooting.
I need to go fast. And I can't go fast by walking.
Right, so, yes, it seems Bonnet, being the adrenaline junkie that she is, suddenly realizes that she only has the power of the speed of her own 2 feet, and is feeling grossly inadequate to her, to getting her usual adrenal hit. Even though the odd crack-a-boom of thunder rolling along the firmament does give you the odd jump here and there, but yes. Well, your tactical officer has essentially said, "What are we doing?"
It's a dimension where shooting works. I like it. I will shoot the problem.
In that regard, actually, you notice you have no weapon. Your disruptor holster is empty. You have no Targ dagger in its sheath. There is no bat'leth strapped across your back. You are without weapons. You are without tricorders either, or comm devices.
I don't like this.
Tre'gok falls to his knees, screaming.
Highly dramatic, throws his hands up to the air.
The
No!
captain who is more of a philosopher just shakes his head.
Bonnet's gonna walk over to Tre'gok and just be like, there. I know how
Pat
you
him on the
feel.
shoulder.
Never get out of here if we can't shoot our way out.
I agree with that. We'll never get out of here if I can't go faster than the speed of light.
How are the chief engineer and chief science officer handling this?
So far, stoically, I suppose.
I mean, the look on Shalatha's character token face always sums up her whole attitude to everything, as far as I'm concerned, which is, oh, great, really? But, hey, go on, Dave. What were you going to say about Dr. Akitha?
She's got a tricorder out.
She thought she had her tricorder out. She goes for it, it's not there.
Oh. She's taking notes.
On what?
She's using a fingernail right on her wrist.
Right, so she's scratching notes into the leatherwork of her armor, of her uniform.
Yeah.
Right, okay, gotcha. See, that's dedication to science right there. Just so you don't forget it later. Observations such as?
They can't see us, we can't see them.
You can see them. You can absolutely see them.
Well,
But they can see us. Oh no!
can they hear us?
They have not reacted to you yet, although the only one who seems to even regard you at the moment is Ashtamalia.
Then Dr. O'Keefe will just go, excuse me, Ashton and Maria. And I meant what I said there.
Deliberately tripping over the actual pronunciation.
Yes, yes, I actually meant to do that. Can the rest of them see us, or is it just you?
She regards her fellows and then turns back to Dr. O'Keefe, at which point it is a case of they are currently unsure whether or not you are a figment. At the moment, however, that Ashtamalia does actually speak to Dr. O'Keefe, a couple of the spectres of the Tilakal that are hovering around suddenly turn and regard her and Dr. O'Keefe, so they've suddenly... You're aware now that some of these ghostly figures have now become aware of you. And they're just staring.
Oh.
As you can see, Doctor, Captain, this is our prison. This is the dimension we have been exiled to.
Well, if I could have a scanner and scan these buildings to find out, but unfortunately I can't.
This is an illusion. This is the hell to which we have been sent. This is why my fellow displaced wander aimlessly about this place. It's because this is but a reflection, an image cast to remind us of what we have lost. This place is not real.
How do you eat?
We don't.
Wait, you're saying you don't have any booze?
She cocks her head curiously to one side of the word booze. Doesn't seem to quite understand.
Drank, alcoholic. Gives you a nice good buzz.
A number of the other spectral Tilical are looking to Ashtamalia for help here, who she herself is just looking at the captain and Bonnet and O'Keefe with a curious look.
It's a drink. Do
They
you
have no alcohol?
do you
This
know
is
what?
hell.
It's a liquid you put into yourself.
A liquid stimulant.
Yes.
I
I
would call
wouldn't
it a
say
stimulant.
no. Well, actually, no. Our Captain, our booze is more of a stimulant than anything else. It's more of a challenge.
I'd never thought of Klingon alcoholic beverages that way, but now I'm beginning to see the logic. Yeah.
But yes, a challenge you keep losing, O'Keefe. You really suck at drinking.
You're gonna
'Cause I
take that
don't
from a
drink.
human?
Because I don't drink. And nor would I drink in front of a Starfleet officer.
Ashtamalia and a number of the Tilical, actually, they seem to become a bit downcast as they suddenly, as Ashtamalia interjects. Wait a moment. Yes, I remember now. We did used to drink and eat. But we haven't in quite a long time. So long. Time here strays differently. One can almost forget that one was actually a physical being at any one particular point.
So you're not physical beings anymore, you're... well...
She just
Is
opens her hands. Just...
Is there a core to this place? I would suspect there would be some kind of some kind of device or structure keeping this prison and you trapped in it.
No device. No contraption. Nothing of such primitive, prosaic methods. Captain, you are the one with the highest... With the highest? Let's see, your insight is 9. Anybody got any advances on insight of 9?
I have an 8 here. I have an 8.
So it's still the captain.
I have a 9 on insight. That's about it. I'm literally the same.
Bonnet and Qe'Bach are more or less the same.
Oh, Tre'gok's even worse for insight.
Yeah, well, kind of expect that. Shalatha has insight of 8. So yeah, it is the captain that's got the most insight, which is not surprising. Captain Tre'gok, when Ashtamalia mentioned the words, in regards to the words she used in regards to technology. There was a definite hint of condescension there. It wasn't obviously obvious, but there was definitely a note of a note of condescending superiority in Ashtamalia's words. Nevertheless, so, are you going to help us? This is the place we need to escape, she says. And we need to know if you are the ones who will release us from this imprisonment.
Let's do it. I mean,
Probably
we will
should,
do it.
because, you know, we're stuck here as well.
She does look at you in a way that suggests that once again you have failed to fully understand her. So there's this definite sense of intellectual superiority going on here, and now that she is engaging with you more of the spectral Tilical are starting to crowd around you a little bit, or at the very least are now looking at you directly, and every time Ashtamalia speaks, these other Tilical stay looking at her with enraptured intent. To which Ashtamalia then just gestures to you and her people. Everything here is fine now that you have come. And you have such courage to enter into our prison. We, the displaced, have been trapped here for countless eons, struggling to escape, hoping against hope for someone on the outside to hear our pleas. We have sometimes succeeded in touching minds on the other side, but these connections were so shallow that little came of these attempts, which were treated as either hostility or as mental disease. We are surely neither. The sad truth is that we were confined here by our fellow Tilical, and we cannot truly blame them, for they were the ones suffering from some type of madness. We failed them. We could not cure them. And in their deranged state, they tricked us into this pocket universe, using the vast technology that our civilization had achieved before any of your peoples had evolved beyond your most insignificant animal ancestors. The Tilical had then already existed for so long it was as if forever. And here, in this timeless, dimensionless realm, our Adorai, our very essences, have become stagnated and atrophied for unknown millennia, suffering in countless ways. This, and she gestures around herself to the buildings, this incomplete recreation of our former homes does not replace our lost physical existence. We know it isn't real, and that alone drains our spirits. But the otherworldly energies that fill this universe wear on us, like endless ocean waves eroding a shoreline. We cannot survive here, and our poor, sick fellow Tilical, if any of them yet survive, they need our care before they become a further danger to themselves or other sentient beings. We must escape, and only you can help us. So whilst this speech was going on... Sorry, let me just interject this. Hold on to that, don't forget it. Whilst Ashtamali was speaking, making this big speech, The other Tilical that surrounded you all, were staring intently, hanging on every word Ashtamalia had, and a lot of them were obsessively patting their thighs with their hands, some kind of gesture. Not entirely sure what the gesture means, but it seemed to evince some kind of almost excitement from them. But go on with what you were going to say. You have a question.
Yes, I have a question. Who put you in here?
We told you. Our poor, sickened fellow Tilical.
Why?
We're not sure. Ultimately, it seems that for some reason they wanted to put us out of the way so that perhaps they were afraid. We offered them help and assistance from their derangement, and in turn they turned around and imprisoned us instead.
You know what? I really wish I asked this question while we were on the ship.
Which
Maybe
question
we
was
could
that?
have. No, this is O'Keefe is saying it out loud.
Okay.
Because then we could have found out, what the other Tilical and who they were.
There's more here than meets the eye.
It's possible you've already come across them and not realized it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Captain, it's up to you.
At this point as well, whilst you're considering what you've just been told, the other Tilical for the first time start to come at you each individually, and they start asking you questions. So, one of them comes up to Shalatha, the chief engineer, and in this ghostly echoing voice, "What's the maximum faster than light speed you can reach?"
I think that's one for the engineer, but what is the maximum warp the Klingon ships can do?
Well, that's a good question, actually, because a Vorcha-class attack cruiser is definitely not as fast as its Starfleet brethren.
Wouldn't that also be a good question for the helm officer?
Yeah, sure, but this is just one that's the helm officer is going to get her own question in a moment, but maximum warp.
When it comes to warp, that's not an engineer. That's a contact plane. Don't let Barney hear you. She'll be offended.
So, according to starbase400.org, the maximum speed of a Vorcha-class attack cruiser is warp 9.3, but you can push warp 9.62 for 12 hours.
Oh, there we go.
So that would be your kind of stock answer, about 9.3. At which point the Tilical's not entirely certain they get the notation, 9.2 what, and so Shalatha might have to explain the how the multiplication of light of light speeds equates to a warp rating. It seems that as soon as Shalatha gives that answer, though, the Tilical has a bit of a smirk, a smile on their face, as if to say, "Oh, is that all?" So another question somebody else gets asked. One comes up to the captain and "How long do you think it's going to be before you can recover our Adorai?"
I cannot say. We are just new to this world. We still need to know what to do.
One sec, folks. I am going to try and lessen whatever the hell is slowing my display down, because my frames per second are crashing through the floor here. Yeah, there's still... Pardon me. Paused everything, I've gotten rid of stuff. There's still a very big lag. Okay, so, you're not sure? Okay, they seem a bit saddened at that admission. Someone comes up to Dr. O'Keefer, one of the Tilical people. Do you have matter transference technology?
You mean teleporting?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
of
dear.
course we do. Yes. Yes,
Oh,
of course
I
we do.
see. A joke.
Yes,
Most amusing.
it was. Thank you. I'm a very funny person.
They seem to regard you in that kind of way that, you know, an adult regards a child when the child thinks they've made a funny joke and the adult thinks they're above it.
Dr. O'Keefer's keeping the anger at bay at the moment.
Let's see now. Who gets this one? Commander Tre'gok. Yes, one of the Tilical comes up to you and says, "Have you met any of our assessors?" Mark, you with us?
Sorry. Yes, I am. What do you need from me? Sorry.
One of the Tilical just asked if you've actually met any of their assessors.
Not that I know of. I may have shot one or two, but I don't think so.
Bonnet, being close to Tre'gok, can at least state that you have, that Starfleet has at least met an assessor.
Really?
Who
are they?
Assessor Tre'gok.
Assessor Tre'gok.
I remember hearing reports from my old ship.
They seem very interested in this. Really? What was this assessor's status?
Actually, I think we just pulled him from the planet after another planet tried to ram into it.
You rescued an assessor? You have lost our Adderai?
If it was on the planet that got hit by another planet, probably.
A number of the Tilical next to where Tre'gok and Bonnet are standing withdraw, and they all seem horrified at this, and they start moaning and walking around, even passing through each other, and they seem to have lost... They seem to now have lost whatever mental cohesion they had in being able to focus on you, and are now just wandering aimlessly about, moaning and groaning and wringing their hands and clutching their heads. And
But that is only to determine if Assessor Tre'gok hadn't told them. I wouldn't know 100%, mainly because I was on a different ship than the one that was doing the evacuation.
Ashtamalia and some of the other Tilical, at the very least, seem to latch on to what Bonnet said there, which was evacuation. So some of us may have been saved. Interesting. Let's have someone come up to the science officer once again. How fully do you exploit subspace and other hyperdimensional planes?
Would Dr. Akifa know this?
Well, yes, because technically, in order to, I mean, O'Keefe, what's O'Keefe's? She's got engineering for. In Trek Tech speak, every warp-capable ship accesses subspace planes two-way fashion, in that they use that to... They essentially use a warp bubble to make them... It's like you partially cross over into another layer of subspace where the laws of physics are slightly different, so that a ship of the material tonnage, like yours, for instance, actually appears to be lighter, so that it can be propelled through space at faster than light speeds. Otherwise, you know, it would take huge amounts of power to move at faster than light speeds. So warp fields are used to essentially bend the laws of physics enough that the ship's mass isn't what it usually would be in your universe, essentially.
So she kind of says that with a little bit of quantum mechanics and warp field dynamics put into it.
Yeah,
she
so
does
you
have
can...
focuses in quantum mechanics and warp field dynamics. So
Sure, and what you get is that the Tilical asking you that question seems to be following every word you're saying. So you, Dr. Akitha lays it out, lays warp theory out in its, with quantum mathematics and theories, in order to explain that, hyperdimensionality is utilized by every, or pretty much every spacefaring race that you know of. There are a couple of outliers here and there that use different methods of faster-than-light propulsion, but overall, most space-capable species use access to other dimensions in a small way to affect mass in order to allow propulsion of that mass through space. So,
at the end of it, Dr. O'Keefe will go, apparently there is a rumour that one's people are doing something, but I haven't got a clue what they're doing. And she points to Bonnet.
oh, so you are not the same people? Interesting.
We're part of the Klingon Empire. That person over there, her name's Bonnet. She's part of the Federation. She's on an exchange program.
I see. So you regularly intermingle with other species?
I mean, we just finished having
Let's
a
put it
war
out
with
mildly.
them. I mean, we just finished having a war with them, and we do talk to other races. I mean, if it was down to Commander Tre'gok, we would shoot all of them.
There's something of a wary look now going in the direction of Commander Tre'gok.
But our captain is of sound mind, and he keeps our violent tendencies in check.
Captain Qe'Bach, you could be wrong, but you're hearing compliments come in your direction from the from the science officer.
Doctor, you need to take a look at our science officer.
The science officer is the doctor, so she checks her own pulse, puts her hand next to her neck, feels her forehead, goes, yeah, I'm feeling okay, actually.
I'm fine, Captain. I don't know why I had to do that, but yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. It's like the science officer and the medical officer are two separate entities sharing the same body. You're used to Dave having two different voices going on in the same character, but you've transplanted it to somebody else's. It's great.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't mean to make fun there. That was just amusing.
No. I just don't want another character with two voices again. I mean, it'd be funny to play that. I don't know. Anyway, she goes, yeah, you know, we do mingle with other species. We're not the only spacefaring race. We're Klingons. They're the Federation, which is which is a whole bunch of different species who have come together to do some space exploring and stuff.
So there is not one species that dominates over all the others?
No. I mean, there's a few species which, you know, are quite powerful, but we're the Klingons, and you know, I mean, I lost my arm, and perfectly honest, you know, that's a typical Tuesday.
You see, the Tilical tries to wrap their mouth around the word Tuesday. While we pan over to another one of the Tilical, who eventually does sidle their way up to Bonnet, and goes, "What's the largest object you're capable of shifting through space?"
Your mum.
Oh damn, we're going that way, are we? Okay.
Hold on. I've got an answer for Bonnet. Hold on. Look at the Discord. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Just give me 2 seconds.
Oh no.
Dave, master of Discord gifs. What am I going to be looking at? I hesitate.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
Honestly, I was gonna go to something similar. And let's see, the biggest thing we have moved through subspace. Definitely Dr. O'Keefe's big ass head.
The Tilical looks over at Dr. O'Keefe with a puzzled look on their face, and it's like,
she's got a big ego and thinks she's better than everyone else, even though I've seen Vulcans with better combat capabilities than her.
Bonnet.
Yeah, you do realise everybody can hear what everybody else is saying, so yeah.
Bonnet, just to let you know, I don't have an ego. I just hate my job.
That's saying that Tavish from the Combs doesn't like blowing stuff up.
I don't know this Tavish. I don't care about this Tavish. This Tavish sounds like an idiot.
The Tilical who asked the question, meanwhile, seems to have lost interest in it just through sheer incredulity and has just wandered off.
Fantastic. We did what we had to do.
And then the captain gets one last curious Tilical come up to him and say, "Have you located any of our resting chambers where our bodies are preserved?"
Oh. No.
And they get immediately downcast and sullen as they hear this.
And this is why we love our captain. Straightforward.
It's like they're asking so many things. Sorry, Liz, go on, please.
I'm pretty sure that the Thunderchild found some. I'm pretty sure that Cesar would have told them. That is, if he actually cared about you guys. But that remains to be seen. Like I said, we were on different ships.
Tre'gok, who tries to reach out and touch one of the Tilical, just finds his hand goes right through. The Tilical just looks down at the hand that passed through their chest, and then looks up at Tre'gok with a "why?" look on their face.
Can I say something before
Of course.
Connie carries on? As Tre'gok does that, just go. Doctor goes, "Don't do that. It's not sanitary."
What are you trying to do?
Fine.
You're
I'm just
acting
trying
like
to do some
Commander,
science.
what's that person's name from the Combs? Always wears the damn EV suit.
Turin pipes up at this point. Oh, that would be Lieutenant Commander Flask.
Ah, yes, Commander Flask, the new first officer. Very germophobic.
Turin kind of twitches when she hears the new first officer. It's like she's trying to process what she just heard and just seems to settle.
Why is this completely ruining this person's mind?
Oh, actually, Captain, do you mind if I just go over to the Starfleet officer, not Bonnet, the other one?
Turin. Proceed.
Thank you.
At this point, am I really still a Starfleet officer? I've probably
Yes.
broken so many Federation rules being on the ship.
Let's just say that Bonnet seems to be atypical when it comes to Starfleet officers, yes. Which is probably why the Klingons put up with their company so well, so, you know. Go on, Dave.
Gonna go over to
Turin.
Trin, and I'm going to try and touch her wrist.
Yep, well, she's still got her EV suit on, so you can definitely touch her. She's physically there. You can make contact,
Okay, so
certainly.
So you're physically here.
Yes,
Have
I
you
am
got-
physically here.
Have you got any of your Starfleet gadgets?
She pats herself down and then realizes, unfortunately, no, I do not. And my EV suit is without power.
Okay. Well, seeing as I don't know if you should take your EV suit off, but probably a better idea to keep it on.
Very well. Doctor, is it?
Yes, Dr. Gokeefer.
I will acquiesce to your expertise.
Alright. Captain, what are we doing?
Indeed, Captain. What are we doing?
Have we... Okay, let's have a group huddle. Let's have a scrum.
I'll bring the Thulal Dos over, if I can.
Ah, Scrum, I know of this human game rugby. Charge!
Yeah, actually, of all human sports, I think the Klingons would get rugby and really enjoy it, but they just get carried away and just run at each other at full speed and smash into each other. Forget entirely about the oblong, the leather oblong.
Isn't that rugby?
Well,
Honestly,
far be it for me to suggest.
I'm very much in agreement with that. The funny part is the Klingons will probably have that one human on each team just to...
They're going, guys, it's about the ball. The ball. We're supposed to throw. You don't care, you're having a good time. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, just those one humans, make sure they don't get too carried away.
I mean, I've seen Worf play baseball. That was something.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to go into that episode of DS9. It was fun in its own way, but I'm not what we call a sports person, so I tend to gloss over that episode.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it is great for Vulcan racism. That episode is really good to outline how rampantly racist the Vulcans can be. It's it's a good one. Anyway, this group huddle is now going on. Turin has kind of wandered close to you. Not wanting to intrude on the group huddle, but also curious as to what's going on. The Tilical seem to be leaving you to it. So, group discussion.
What do we think of these guys? And Turin should tell us what her experience has been.
My experience? She cocks her head to one side, thinking. It is difficult to adequately describe. It feels like I have been here very little time, but then time itself is a very odd thing here. It is more a concept rather than a rule. It's like it's a Mobius strip cut up and put back together randomly. It's very difficult to describe. Like I said, sometimes whilst I was here, I wasn't sure if I was alive or real. Now I have had somebody make actual physical contact with me and assure me that I am real. That is a great relief. I did notice one odd thing, though. The mind seems to interface with this dimension in an odd fashion. There is a lot that can distract one's attention here. But I have noticed that the place has no physical dimensions as we understand them. It is like the Tilical have imagined us into little bubbles of reality. And I observed them doing this in such a fashion that they seem to just think what they want to do, rather than go through any gesture of effort. It is like belief, almost. They allow themselves to believe something will happen, and then things kind of come together. I tried it myself when I first appeared on your ship. When I became aware of your ship, I just focused on beaming aboard. And I did. What I can state, however, is that I have met some of these Tilical, and some of them are almost not here. Ashtamalia has said that this pocket universe is harming their mental energies, and that she thinks they'll be all right if they are returned to their physical bodies. This, I believe, is the crux of the matter for them. Go on with what you were going to say, Mark.
Oh, so Tre'gok, I was just going to say, so if we think about it enough, we can just leave. Is that what you're saying?
I am not certain, but perhaps.
You see Tre'gok just sort of straining his face as he's thinking hard to get a weapon.
What is he thinking of?
He's thinking of a batleth.
Aha. Yeah, he's there, he's straining, he's thinking, he's got one eye closed, one eye open, and the one eye is open that is big and bulging. And he's got a big old crease forming between his brows, and the veins on his head and neck are standing up, and No, nothing happens.
He's just going to sort of
I was disappointed.
go a bit quiet and look very, very dejected.
Turin does take notice of what he did, and she seems almost... I mean, Bonnet is the only one who'd really pick up on it because she's been around Vulcans before, and the rest are Klingons and therefore don't care. But that's not strictly true. But Bonnet, at least, having been around Vulcans enough, notices that Turin was very interested in what Tre'gok was trying there, and seems a little bit... Just seemed to deflate a tiny, tiny bit when Tre'gok didn't manage to do what he was trying to do, whatever it was. Nevertheless, the captain... What are we doing? And the group huddle, what is the points of discussion here?
I want to ask Turin, and just people in general, whether these people are wrongfully imprisoned, or we think that they were rightfully so for being so annoying.
I think they aren't telling us something.
Yeah, Turin, if asked her opinion, which she was, she thinks about it for a moment, and he goes, these people have been apparently confined in this place without the ability to get out. And while I do concur that their attitude suggests a certain amount of superiority, whether or not they deserved to be locked up in this dimension appears to be largely irrelevant. They are, however, making the request of ourselves that we assist them with being freed. And there does, according to what I have learned from your efforts and from their descriptions, there does appear to be an overall threat of degeneration, if not death, due to the latent energies of this dimension. So one way or another, the facts seem to be that they are trapped, just as we are, if not in a different format, if you will.
Okay then. Crew, we're going to rescue these people, no matter how annoying they seem to be. But keep your suspicions up, because they're not telling us everything.
Well, it can't be any more annoying than Dr. Okita.
Turin sidles up to Bonnet and just leans in almost conspiratorially and goes, Lieutenant, forgive me. Is this what you call banter?
Yeah, some could see it that way.
This answer doesn't wholly satisfy Turin, but she just seems to accept it and just leans back out again.
Honestly, we should probably be like, but it's been way too much time with the Klingons.
So, yes, you are going to try and save these people. Okay. Chris has just stepped out for a moment.
How are we going to help them, though? Because it sounds like their bodies are in stasis, at least from the questions that they kept asking.
Do we give them some red shoes and make them think really hard?
That's a very human, a very human anecdote there, but it might work.
Yes. I'll give them red ruby shoes and tell them to click their heels world together and think of home. Yes, let's have them say there's no place like home. This ain't one of my holodecks, Captain.
Bearing in mind Ash Tamalia and the other Tinikal are nearby if you want to ask them questions too. Or involve them in the discussion in some fashion. No problem, Liz?
I think at this point then we probably should tell them that what has been observed, that if they just think hard enough, that they will get what they want. And how can we harness that?
Ashtamalia, when the captain directs this statement at us, she momentarily closes her eyes and comports herself, almost like in that fashion of someone has just mentally gone, oh my god, they are so stupid. How do I explain this to as if to a child? And then collects herself. I am concerned that our visual manifestations have given you a prosaic conception of our Adderai. You cannot simply harbour us aboard your starship like so many refugees. We are attuned to the physical parameters of this universe. Such a device as your transporters are not compatible with the energies here. Only advanced Tilical technology, the kind that sent us here in the first place, can transfer us out of this pocket universe and merge our Adderai with our physical bodies. We can only hope that you will find assessors who can assist you when you access our transference machines from the other side. That is the assistance we require of you. Does this mean you are willing?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Our thanks. Our saviors. And she turns around to address the rest of the Tilical. Our saviors, she declares, and there's another frantic lot of thigh slapping from the other assembled Tilical. So, well, how are you going to do this?
So, I think at this case, we have to go back. We'll take Tyrion with us because she's not bound like the Tilical are. We'll ask Ashtamalia how we can summon an assessor. There was that one on the planet, actually.
True.
And then we can talk to them. It's okay, Tre'gok. They're there. I'm gonna have the doctor stroke his hair.
Oh my.
They're there.
And not oh my in a George Takei kind of oh my kind of way. It was like, oh my, he's treating him like a child. There, buddy.
These are rubbing off on us.
Yeah. There, bud. It's okay. You tried. Well, you know, to be fair to Tre'gok, it's like, damn it, I'm surrounded by children, but you know, it's not strictly wrong. But yeah, okay. Then all that is left is for you to venture back out into your own material plane and retrieve our bodies and activate the requisite technology to allow us to return.
Yes.
Very well then. And
let's go.
Ashtamalia just seems to turn around as if that's that. She's walking back in the direction of her fellow Tilical. Lieutenant Tyrion just looks at everybody else, points to Captain Tre'gok with a look of... Was that it?
Seems like it. Let's think our way out of here.
Okay, so everyone's there, kind of just. All right, what do we do? Do we? Okay, how do we think our way out of this? Tyrion goes. There's the possibility that I could try mind melding us all together and seeing if we could achieve transference that way, potentially. I am uncertain how this is supposed to work. Unless anybody would like to venture an opinion, or a possibility, or an idea.
Tre'gok's going to be thinking about shooting his way out.
I mean,
and
for us,
suggest that to everyone. We just shoot a hole that we can go through. And will it to be.
Yeah. You suddenly come across a problem with that. I'm going to shoot my way out. I'm going to shoot my way out. Tre'gok's there going, I'm going to shoot my way out. Everybody with me. I'm going to shoot my way out. I'm going to shoot my way out. Puts his hand to his holster. Damn.
No. So, for us, if I'd see it in two steps. We think ourselves back to our ship first of all, and if I remember correctly, we are the ones who have subconsciously created the bubble to survive in, right? So, can we subconsciously dissolve that bubble and think ourselves back in the world we came from?
Interesting. A very good question. A question that could possibly be theorized, or hypothesized, I should say, better if you had instrumentation with which to, you know, try and calculate such things. At which point, Ashtamalia turns around as if suddenly remembering that you're actually there, and goes, "Oh, I am sorry, my friends. I forgot." And she just gestures in the air, and there is a brief flash before you find yourselves back on the bridge. All of a sudden. Thankfully, there wasn't a splitting migraine this time to accompany it. The transition. You were just all of a sudden here again, so there we go. So, you are now no longer in that apparition, and you are here in this place instead. So, yes, you do have some interesting possibilities going here, but it's the way you actually go about it that seems to now be the issue. But you did raise some interesting ideas, so going with Captain Tre'gok's first thought, if you do believe that this bubble has been manifested as a result of your own belief that you exist in these three dimensions and it just appeared, then that might be a road to plotting your way out of here. You just have to, I don't know, try something, or quantify something, or, you know, do something. How are you going to start with this idea?
I have access to guns, Captain. We can shoot our way out again.
Well, you know.
I think if we just get our last, if we can, coordinates before we came here.
Yeah.
And aim for it.
Okay. Your last
No shooting.
coordinates would be within the navigational computer. What were you going to say, Connie?
Lieutenant Bonnet?
Oh.
No shooting.
So yeah, I mean, Bonnet can access the navigational computer logs, and yep, you were at coordinate such and such in the Candidate 3 system just before you entered into that large spatial rift, and then found yourselves in this place where there apparently are no navigational coordinates, at which point the navigational computer just gives endless amounts of error messages in the logs. but by tracing back to the point before there were error messages in the log, so you can find locational coordinates. Yes, that's no problem. So you've got coordinates to get to. How do you suggest you get there? Now this is it now. This bit from here on in is entirely up to you. I have nothing pre-prepared.
I've got...
So...
Captain, why don't we just try and set a path to the coordinates and then think about getting there really hard? It seems to work.
That's the best idea I've heard out of you all day.
And then we shoot everything when we arrive.
And we're right back to where we started, yes. Well, yeah, set a course and try and go for it, sure.
Yeah.
Any
In fact,
advances
we're
on that? Any follow-ups, any advances, any different ideas?
No, I agree.
Okay. So everything you need for that is essentially... Now, you are aware that you are down a nacelle. So that means forming your warp bubble is going to be that much harder because you've only got half of what you usually need. Your current navigational coordinates for, usually in order to calculate a course from point A to point B, you need coordinates. Your current place and your destination in three-dimensional space. At the moment, you have your destination. Your origin point for the navigational computer is a load of erroneous, random splurges of datum. You do have shields. You do have a functioning deflector. Although at the moment it's tuned to EM radiation rather than actual repulsion of physical objects. So, what do you want to do to accomplish this simple take us here job? I mean, do you just want everybody, you want to give the order to everybody on the crew to just think really hard about getting back to where we were? Which, is potentially valid. I'm just outlining some of the things that might be in the backs of your minds about problems with getting from point A to point B. The situation that you currently find yourselves in. If you still...
We can't really fix the warp nacelle, can we? That needs to be in a shipyard.
Quite probably.
We can attune the shields, but I think keeping us protected to shenanigans around us is probably better.
So attune the shields to what?
No, I mean we've already got it set for the radiation that we're experiencing whilst in this weird dimension, so we don't want to change that. That should remain the same.
Oh, okay.
And then quickly adjust it if we get to where we're going and there's some problems. I don't know. I unless the chief engineer thinks they can repair the nacelle.
Just let me know if you need me to go fast.
I think the ship will fall apart before that happens.
I can have a go at trying to repair the nacelle if we have the means.
You have the means of making patch repairs, certainly, but the overall structural problem with the nacelle is something that will need the kind of TLC that only a shipyard or a starbase can give, because they will have, the facilities and the parts to fix and or replace. So you can certainly try to patch things to try and run some power through the port nacelle, or you can make modifications to the starboard nacelle in order to try and adjust it so that it outputs more of a warp field than it usually does, because it's usually got a partner nacelle to do that with. So it's up to you how you want to manage it.
I guess since the maybe just sort of like try and modify the starboard nacelle then.
Okay, that'll take some time to do, which gives folks either time to try something else to help shore up the ship, or do something else with whatever action they like. Alternatively, folks can also help aid Shalatha in doing this, so that time isn't not as much time is spent doing this. But you know, if you take on board the fact that what Turin suggested might be what's going on in this dimension, time is a bit weird anyway, so whether or not the time it takes to do modifications to the starboard nacelle matters anything at all. This is a consideration maybe for someone with quantum mechanics, but either way. Do you want everyone who's available to pile in on this, or do you want other folks to maybe see to other tasks while that is going on as well, is essentially what I'm getting at.
I'll take any help if it's going.
Pile on in!
So those with reasonable good engineering scores are, well, Turin herself has got 3. We know that your already activated operations officer Lithulol Dos has got engineering 5, I think it was. Yep, he's pretty high up there. Right, once again, I'm going to try and aid my ailing frame rate here by pausing some of these animations. Whoops, a daisy. Give me a moment. That one too. So, yeah, whoever wants to volunteer to help with the nacelle, really.
I mean,
Is it
Connie can help.
Yep, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, Tre'gok's got an engineering of 4, so it depends on the attribute. He can either be really good or meh. No in between.
We're trying to work on the nacelle, which hopefully electroplasma's power systems come into effect. That or propulsion.
I would imagine propulsion would be more the correct focus to use there, because it is part of the propulsion system. So yeah, having right, so essentially everybody who wants to aid Shalatha, give me a 1 die roll of, let's go with control and engineering, because this is mostly down to fine manipulation and what you can get working, the manner in which it has got. So, Bonnet tries to assist, doesn't quite get there. Tre'gok does assist and does get there, and that leaves us with... we can have 1 more assist if we want it, or we can leave it at that.
I guess the captain can assist by telling them to hurry it up.
Yep, this will cost you 2 momentum to do, but yes, you can use your presence and command to essentially say, work faster, work better. Make sure you put things in the right place. 2 successes from the Cap. Wow, he meant it. So that's already 3 successes. So now it's the Chief Engineer's turn. So Chris, if as Shalatha, you could give us 2 dice, control and engineering with whatever focus you think is appropriate.
Yeah. There's a few really in there. System maintenance, power systems, warp field. Okay, cool.
Success,
Order
one
of the
complication.
order of that batleth, please.
Order of the Batleth. Okay, so that means we ignore that, but we have accumulated a good many there. That was a tough one.
Oh,
Yes?
I was just about to say that we could save that order at the back left if it's not too late.
Up to you.
I've still got
Because I
that. I'm
have-
sure I'll have. Oh, sorry, go on.
I have the advisor talent. When I'm assisting using command, the assisted character may reroll 1d20.
Ah. That's a good point. You could re-roll that 20 instead, thanks to Captain Tre'gok's talent.
Yeah, go on then, Ash. That's a good shout. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's like, who's the captain? I'm the captain.
Yes.
Is that me re-rolling? Sorry,
That's
then,
you
or is it,
re-rolling. So
Yeah.
underneath where
it?
it says complication, there should be re-roll that's clickable. You select which dice you want to re-roll. In this case, it'll be the 20, and so do it. Ooh. There we are.
Could have been worse. It
Boom.
could have been a 20.
A 19 is
which
better
I
than a 20,
have.
so it still remains the same one success, but that's 4 successes overall, so you did. It takes... Right, again, like I said, it takes some time, but time is now a nebulous construct, and therefore you just go about doing the job. But with all of you concentrating on this job, it takes less time than otherwise would. But it is essentially, you are patch jobbing the starboard nacelle so that even more power gets put through it. So this is going to be delicate, to say the least, to try and get this one nacelle to do the job of 2 without overheating it and melting the coils. So, but with that many successes, you have done a tremendously good job at shoring it up as much as it needs to be in order to A, give it that extra safety bar, and B, make it so that it can have that extra juice shunted through it. So yeah, cool, well done. So with that extra juice now put into the starboard nacelle so that you can form a complete warp bubble, what do you want to do now? Yes, I'm aware that was the word now twice within the same sentence, but
Connie, set coordinates. We need to go fast. And think fast?
potentially.
Mm.
So, it's gonna...
That plays
Be a
to
bit
Bonnie
weird.
really well. We're going to
Yeah,
think
go on.
that we're going to outrun the dimension. We're going to go so fast we can get there because we outrun the dimension.
So what I'm going to say here is, without... No, I'm going to keep the standard rules for more than one person helping costs momentum per person. Those of you who are helping just by thinking it... Ooh, I believe... What are we going for here? I'm going to ask you to roll Insight and Con for Gork and Mork. Wrong franchise, dear boy, but yes.
It's
Essentially
the
the same
Qe'Bach.
kind of thing, yeah.
It's the Do Qe'Bach, which translates as more Daka. So
Well, quite, so I know.
This will
I
work.
know where you were coming from. So it's not the... Thank you. It's not the most out there tangential association. Cross-franchise association, because yes, as you say, you guys are basically space orcs in your own funny way, but no, so anybody who wants to contribute their belief that this will go right, or the mental picture that you're going to get where you want to go, can roll me insight, and con. Where Bonnet gives us control and con.
Absolutely do not want Tre'gok's help with this.
So, out of curiosity,
yeah.
any focuses?
For Bonnet, yeah, absolutely the normal focus of helm control or whatever else you need to steer the ship. Everybody's just momentarily been moved.
Okay.
Who moved everybody?
You know what? Let me just double check some stuff.
Let me move everybody back. There we go. The captain's back in his chair. Oh, this frame rate drop, this laggage is getting to be a real pain in the butt. Anyway. Yes, anything that Bonnet would usually do to go for focuses and whatnot to do with helm control and propulsion.
Okay.
Who does want to aid by thinking really hard on this?
Let me double check. What? Well, you guys figure out if anyone wants to help. You know what?
I can help. I
believe. I believe.
Because they're trying to get out of this weird bubble.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to think of the time she outran a Klingon ship. And go faster than the time she had for that.
Good. Okay. Yep.
Which is
yeah.
The Fast and Furious.
I won't save this. I'll use it. I'll assist, but I'm going to use my order to Kalis.
Okie dokie.
So it's a immediate one.
Aha! Righty-ho. Which gives us 4 successes so far, so unless anybody else is adding themselves to the...
Because of this. Because I spent my value, or I used a value to spend my determination, I gain 1 momentum as well.
Okay, cool.
Because
that
fate
momentum
of the
has to be
heart.
spent on something. Unless I miss my guess. Oh yes.
To the group.
You got faith of the heart. To the group pool, yeah, you're quite right. It does get added to the group pool, so that gives us 1 more. Back to full. Okay, groovy. 5 successes in total. So, with expectation mounting, everybody holds on as you hear this thrum of additional power go through the starboard nacelle. There's a moment where the whole ship shakes a little bit, and everyone's there like, oh god, is this thing going to fall to pieces? Shalatha looks around, gives something a swift kick, which releases a bout of steam, and all of a sudden everything stabilizes. And so the warp engines come online, and with those who are thinking good thoughts, thinking this is how we're going to get home, and Bonnet throws the Do Qe'Bach into warp, and it leaps forwards, or seems to. The ship definitely registers that it's moving, but the distance to the edge of the bubble is getting closer and closer. But sensors are now detecting that there's another ship coming from a different direction, coming towards you. And there's another ship coming from another direction, coming towards you. And there's a different ship coming directly at you from... It's just appeared from the edge of the bubble and is coming in right towards where you are. What do you want to do?
Hail!
Throwing the... Dr. O'Keefe immediately goes for the hailing frequencies, at which point she then realises, oh yeah, the comm system has been totally fried. Sorry, Captain. You are still heading towards this oncoming ship with these other oncoming ships from different directions at some speed. What are you doing? Collision in 5, 4.
Evasive maneuvers!
We're not passing
Captain!
Imagine this out of the way.
Speed ahead!
Slamming on the brakes or quickly throwing the ship into a maneuver, you just about maneuver the ship out of the way when another Klingon ship comes speeding past you. And then another Klingon ship comes speeding past you. And another Klingon ship comes speeding past you. All of them were Vorcha-class attack cruisers.
Are they all us?
Commander Tre'gok, who runs the registry numbers through the sensors and through the computer, finds that yes, they all share the same registry number as your ship, and they all come to a complete stop at the same instant, but at different planes of axis. If that's even the right term, different planes of whatever. Answers on chat. Did I just use the right terminology there, or did I just totally get it wrong? So, you did manage to propel your ship through this bubble, but you didn't get out of this plane of existence, and weird stuff happened with additional ships. Lieutenant Turin, after a few moments, jumps in here. If I could potentially suggest something, Captain. And she points to the console that she's standing next to, that Dr. O'Keefe tends to frequent. The Science and Sensors console. There might be something to these readings that I am now observing on Dr. O'Keefe's console. If we could get Dr. O'Keefe to actually examine such readings.
Good luck with that.
Dave, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So what I'm essentially asking is that, yeah, Dr. O'Keefe is looking at what Turin is pointing at, and yeah, there are weird energy currents going around in this dimension, which you've already established. Most of it is electromagnetic radiation of some form or other. But looking at the internal sensors, when everybody was sat there thinking of let's get out of here, we're getting out of here, you know, positive mental energy, and Bonnet went through the motions of, internal sensors did detect that there was a sudden rise in electromagnetic energy. Mostly it seems from the individual brains of the people in the room who are all contributing to this. But rather than the regular amount of mental activity that goes on in a humanoid brain, there was additional almost electrostatic output. But it was as if these currents were trying to join together in some fashion, but they weren't quite getting there. These connections weren't quite being made. Almost like an ambient thing. Is
it worth putting down the deflector then, and using the currents on the outside to augment the currents we just did?
That's an interesting question.
Can
There's no small degree of risk, but
Can I do some calculations on my computer?
sure. Let's see. We will combine your sensor operations with biology and even quantum mechanics. So you're doing like a trifecta of foci here. And this will definitely be a reason and science attempt.
Okie dokie.
Interesting. Hang on a second. I take that down. Yeah, it's weird. Sorry, I just had Dr. Akitha's character sheet up. I'm going to do it again. And Dr. Akitha's character sheet is foremost at the very front. Now I can watch it. My frames per second jump right back up to 60. The moment I take Dr. Akitha's character sheet away... boom, my frames per second rocket down. What is going on? That's on a postcard, please, to anybody who could have any kind of knowledge about this. But, nevertheless, yeah, Dr. Akitha can definitely make an attempt. Anybody who wants to assist can certainly do. You've got enough momentum to do so. I am going to make this a difficulty 3.
I can assist. Maybe
Sure.
Dr. Akitha can roll 2. If
Yeah,
you wanna
Akitha
take
will
a
probably
moment.
roll 2. Oh, okay. Akitha's also putting in a
I mean, 3,
determination.
I mean.
Whoa!
Oh.
Serious science.
Okay.
Can I take a momentum and take another dice as well?
If that's alright with you guys.
Well,
Yeah.
I got full pool. Go for it.
Yep.
Analysis. I'll just do mine first.
Cool, that's good. That was 1 success. So, go for it, Doc.
Using a focus, using determination. Am I rolling 3 dice? Yeah.
Sounds like.
Okay.
Holy Moses. Right. Okay. Takes a couple of moments for Dr. Akitha to wrap her head around the maths here. But playing it out and watching the observances, watching the readouts play back about what happened when folks were concentrating on what was going on, it does appear that the ambient electromagnetic energy of this pocket dimension does seem to facilitate the ability to link minds, which would explain why different people experienced the same hallucination when they experienced it. So this electromagnetic radiation, whatever's causing it, seems to be allowing mental energies to branch out or be linked, almost networked, to other similar brains in the locale. Which suggests that it's the ambient radiation of the realm itself that could be the key to allow you to think not quite literally, think your way out of this place. Now, with that huge success that Dr. Akitha just got, she's able to postulate that the main reason that Commander Tre'gok could not just pull a weapon out of nowhere is that somewhere in your conscious and subconscious mind, you know that you can't simply pull something out of nothing. Even those with a basic understanding of how replicator science works, and even transporter science works, is you don't pull something out of the universe and just fashion it into something. It's essentially you're manipulating matter and energy. So with a replicator, you're taking this inert gel, this matter, you are beaming some of it away, so you're transforming matter to energy, then reorienting that energy so that when it comes back into a material state, you've reorganized it into a different shape, a different form. So you've not suddenly created something from nothing. You have transformed something into something else and then back to something again. So it's entirely probable, using widgy-woo quantum maths, to figure that even though Tre'gok was thinking actively, I have a batleth, I have a batleth, I have a batleth, there's too much ingrained thinking for him to get over the fact that his brain knows it can't come out of nowhere. There's no actual way that a batleth will magically appear in my hand unless somebody threw it to me, or unless somebody beamed it into my hands, which means it had to come from somewhere to get to somewhere. Where I'm getting at with this is simply believing in it doesn't appear to be quite enough. If you engage in actual activity that your unconscious and conscious minds recognize as the means by which you could achieve this in a mundane fashion, like, you know, you can't just will the ship into motion. You have to have Bonnet start to shunt power through the nacelles, which means that Shalatha needs to put the warp core into readiness to shunt that power somewhere, and then Bonnet then plots a course using the navigational deflector. It's all of these steps that are ingrained into you that you know achieve your transition from point A to point B. Simply willing yourself to magically appear at point B from point A, your brains know that's really not possible. However, utilizing this ambient energy to link yourselves together, you could more than likely start to increase the probability, which is where Gurkha would have been very handy if she were here. You could look to increase the probability of success of getting from point A to point B if you collectively worked at a solution, but went about it using the tools you're familiar with, or the processes you're familiar with at getting to those points. Do you get what I'm saying here? Does anybody not understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can I do another suggestion as well on top of that? Seeing as there's loads of I can't remember our ship's name now.
Do Qe'Bach.
Do Qe'Bach, yeah. Would it be helpful if that is the same Do Qe'Bach, yeah, and if our deflector comes down and everybody else's deflectors come down at the very same moment, yeah, would it be an idea to try and channel all the Do Qe'Bachs into doing what we want to do?
Interesting. Now, again, with that many successes and knowledge of quantum mechanics, Dr. Akitha thinks that the sudden appearance of all those different versions of yourself, the different Do Qe'Bachs, were merely some kind of like temporal refraction, because time doesn't work the same way in this place. Therefore, that was just the weird temporal, That was some kind of weird temporal effect from your attempt at moving. But that's not to say that it isn't something that you could actually use in the fashion you were describing.
I was going to say, if they're temporal, yeah, and it's like a refraction, for a guess they're going to be either like milliseconds, probably like even,
petaseconds,
even less, even less than that, yeah. Behind us,
or in front,
It's about if we can we try and like do a cascade of where we just do what we're doing and we keep on, and the more Do Qe'Bachs that come together, the better our focus. If you know what I'm saying.
I get where you're going. I do believe I get where you're going. It's, well, considering where you are, ordinarily, yeah, this would be, even for Star Trek space magic science, ordinarily it would be a case of, we're talking ridiculous amounts of power, or needing to use like chronoton particles or whatnot to achieve this kind of thing. But in this place, where time and therefore at least temporal physics seems to not be that much of a thing, or even if it is, it's skewed. You have now, I mean, I can almost imagine Dr. Akitha's brain alighting with, ooh, this might be possible in a place like this. Ordinarily it wouldn't be, but what can't we do in this place if we properly bend things? So
then she is going to explain to the captain her findings and her theories. We'll look over to Turin and go, does this sound logical to you?
Turin, yeah, asking her opinion, she follows along what you're saying and she considers it and goes, in this place, with what we know and what you have just discovered, I would have to suggest that at this point, anything might be possible. I can see the logic behind your argument.
So we could take one of the other Do Qe'Bach's working warp nacelle and put it on our ship. Then we have a fixed ship. Can we do that? Tre'gok's going to say with limited understanding of how this works.
The more Do Qe'Bachs that come together, the more stronger our mental kind of image is, to simplify it. We need to put the deflectors down because we need all our consciences working as one. That, like, everybody on the ship, Captain, needs to be thinking this. The more power we have, but we also need to also do the thing, do what we usually do. Get the ship moving, get the actual ship moving. As in, we're getting out of here in our own, in the way we know how to. Like, using our warp engines and stuff like that. Do you understand, Captain?
Not at all, but we'll go with what you said.
Alright. Move really fast. Think of home. Think of the Klingon homeworld, and we will get there. Don't worry about the other ships. They're not going to crash into us. They'll make us stronger, sir.
There's no place like Kronos. There's no place like Kronos.
Well, exactly.
You had me at going fast.
Let's see. I've got that much time. Going to say that this is going to be a series of many actions that contribute towards an extended task. So this will be folks either contributing individually or in clusters of people assisting each other to accomplish tasks in order to put forward how to escape this dimension. So, if I can put this somewhere that's just slightly out of the way so we can still see everybody. What are the first things you think you're going to need to do to prepare the ship to do what you need to do? Because if you're going to be utilizing temporal energies, then how are you going to be getting people ready for this? Because again, Dr. O'Keefe knows that she can, if she can get people to think about this in ways of, well, if I can do this to the ship, or if we can scan for this and then get this readout of energy, of an energy harmonic or something like that, you need to get people to contribute in some way to what's going on in a way that they're familiar with, which will build upon the next thing, which will build upon the next thing, which will build upon the next thing, and as successes start mounting up, assuming they do, it will start to snowball the belief in that this is what's going to happen. And if you're going to be also borrowing energy from the other temporal versions of yourselves, then, you know, there's going to need to be something that everybody is going to believe will work to get this to happen. So you do it, you name it, and I will start looking for it.
Set a course for Kronos? Forgot that right? I can't remember.
You actually go in for Kronos?
I think where we left.
Oh,
right.
We want to go back to where we came from.
Actually,
Yeah.
no. Oh, what's it called?
The Candidate 3 system?
No, not the Candidate 3 system.
Narendra Station.
Narendra Station.
Narendra Station, alright.
Set a course for Narendra Station.
I think we should go back to the Candidate 3 system, though, right? Because we want to talk to the assessor.
No.
No?
No, because that would be a really bad idea, because if we hit one of the things we hit before, as we come out,
Ooh,
it's gonna destroy the ship.
And we could get repairs at Narendra Station.
Yes.
Yes.
We're not gonna be limping back. We're gonna be right there, and we know for a fact that we think two Starfleet ships are there, the Combs and I can't remember the other one. It's the Combs and
it was the
Klingon. Yeah, Nipui. Yeah, so Nipui and the Combs are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what we think. We didn't know the Combs had come.
So, alright then. What's the first step you want to take? Because bearing in mind, the moment you lower the deflector field, from protecting everybody for the EM radiation, that does mean that there's only you've got a countdown of how long it takes before that radiation starts to affect people, affect the ship. So, as soon as you drop that deflector shield, you are on a countdown.
Let's make sure everyone's thinking good.
Can I use determination for this?
Sure.
For glory to our house, so that as members of House Crow, we're more unified in our thoughts.
So the captain wants to give a big speech to motivate everybody towards the singular goal. That's absolutely fine. If that's let me try that again. If you want this to be your first action to start things off, this long extended task, that's absolutely a brilliant idea to do so.
Thank you. Yes, that I shall do. Yeah. So if I use the determination,
That'll be one of your dice is an automatic 1.
and then I guess once again presence and command.
Presence in command, almost certainly.
So it's going to take away determination. I lost the thing. Using focus, dedicated focus, and determination
Do you wanna-
value.
Take some momentum for extra dice as well. Extra spice.
Now, the
yeah.
difficulty is 4.
Oh,
Did
Start
Take
we-
that
yourself.
momentum.
yeah.
Did we take? Did we get momentum back from the captain? And was it captain?
Absolutely, you did. Actually, that's a good point. Okay.
I'm gonna take it back then. I'll take 1, and then I bump it up to 3 dice, right?
3
No,
dice.
take
yes, indeed.
no. Take it up to 4 and take another 2 momentum.
Okay.
Well, okay then.
Prep.
All
All in.
right. Here
Ugh.
we go. This is a big, momentous speech, unifying the entire crew behind one single endeavor.
I pressed the button, but nothing's coming up.
Nothing is coming at my end either. Did you momentarily lose connection? No. Try something, anything. Regular roll. Well, that was a roll of a
Okay.
d12. So that worked. Why didn't what you just did work? So you tried presence and command, using
Yeah.
focus, using dedicated focus and determination, and 3 dice.
A 4
4
because
dice. Whoosh. That was weird. Why didn't that work when you did it?
hmm.
Do you want to keep that roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Awesome
Yeah.
sauce. So that was, I said it was difficulty 4. You got 5 successes. That's 1 over and above what you needed. Ba-da-ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom. So we advance that to your command, but with resistance of 3, which means you jump it by 2. So we have started things off. Is there a Klingon ballad going to be sung throughout the ship, do we think, at this point? The entire crew joins in.
Yeah.
The equivalent of a
Yeah.
sea shanty kind of job. As the
think
crew
so.
all start beating their fists against their consoles to do a drum beat.
Don't break them.
Good point.
Like-
Keep percussion to a minimum. This place
You
is
can't
still
break
delicate.
something that's already broken, Captain.
Okay, so the big rousing
Nice
speech from JPG. Yo ho ho.
Can I punch the communication?
Well, yeah, you can't wreck that any more than it already has done, I suppose. Well, that's a good point. How do you get communication to the rest of the ship if you can't use communications? Methinks that should have been the first jobby. Let's
It's okay,
retroactively
they can-
repair the comm system, shall we?
They can hear
Yes,
us
yes.
singing, and it inspires us all.
Yeah, the singing just starts on the bridge. and then
Reverberating.
goes-
Yeah, okay, yeah. It
goes
travels
throughout
out of the
the ship.
corridor, down the
Yeah.
down the corridor, starts spreading throughout the ship. I like that.
All the doors are open. All the doors are open. We don't mind the draft.
Except for the ones where the hull breaches are, you can leave them closed. I think that's
Yeah.
Let's not open everybody up to space. If outside does indeed count as space anymore. And anyway, yes. So that's actually nice. I like that better. So as word and song starts in the bridge, it starts to filter out through the rest of the decks as everyone starts to join in. So yeah, cool. What's next? Just done a big old inspiring speech or a song. What comes next? Who's going to try something next?
I have an idea, but it's
cool.
It's if people want to do it or not.
I don't even need to hear it. I agree.
Yeah.
I was gonna say not actually going on the course, but plotting the course from where we was to the Endra station again.
So from where
making
you
sure...
were in real space, like the Candidate 3 system?
Yeah, the Candidate 3 system to the Endra station.
That sounds like somebody with control and con needs to do.
But checking everything at it has worked so far.
Quite. Now, I haven't heard that anybody has shut down the deflector array to repel EM fields, so am I to take that as you've just turned it off and now begun the process of getting home?
No, not yet, because we're plotting the trip.
Yeah,
we're just sending us there.
Yeah,
just plotting
okay. This is pre-preparatory stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, if we can have someone use to plot the course using navigation, that would be awesome. Control and con from whoever wants to.
That's a Bonnie task, surely.
It's a Bonnie task. Liz's cursor is currently static and not moving. I don't think she's there. There we go.
Speed!
Now it's zipping about the place. Great, so if we could get some... would it be control and con or reason and con? However Bonnet wants to do it. That's the important part.
Definitely control.
Okay. So remember, this is difficulty 4 currently. However you want to do it. You can also get assistance from whoever you need to, so, you know, don't shy away from asking for help.
Yeah, anyone, if somebody wants to help, plus, would you guys mind if I take some momentum for a third dice?
This would also be a good excuse to have the ship aid in this, because it's using the navigation computer, so computers and con would be good.
Let's see, ship assistance, let's go Do Qe'Bach.
Yep.
It would be computers and con.
I'm good with that. If you're good with that,
because I can actually hit the shift assistance and put the ship I'm using with the computer and con task.
That's assistance you can generally get, and you should get a focus on that. If somebody else wants to help, that's fine too. Forgot that they'd implemented that you can actually get the ship to assist on rolls.
And I spent a momentum
Forge crash reloading. It's not just me having
multiple more successes.
Does somebody else want to assist, or are we good with letting Bonnie Bonnet blast through this herself?
Can I ask a question? Can we help on multiple tasks?
Yeah, that's the point.
Cool. All right.
Okay. I think the captain will assist then in that case.
So, as usual, when you have one person assist, it doesn't count towards needing to spend momentum. When you have more than one person assist, that's when you start needing to spend momentum. So having the ship aid is kind of like a natural thing anyway. You don't really count it towards the limit, but still you do count it towards the dice limit, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So absolutely Tre'gok can aid in this if necessary. And if you're willing to spend the momentum to add another person, they can too. But so far we've got Bonnet rolling for 2, aided by the ship and by the captain, so...
Yeah, and if you guys want, I can spend the momentum so I can get 3 dice, because I...
Sure.
I have a high chance.
Up to people. Up to people.
Take it.
Go on.
Alrighty. Oh, we got a complication.
I'm gonna immediately assist and use my
Way, there we are.
advisor to reroll.
So that becomes 7, 11. So that becomes a what is it? Oh, jeez. Good lordy lorks. Okay, so that becomes 3, 6, 4 in total. That's exactly what you needed. So this was coming off of Bonnet's
I do like how it actually says under my rolls what the ship would have got to.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad they added that. That makes it so much easier. It does rob me of the ability to say somebody who hasn't gone yet to be the ship, but it does also speed things up nicely. So I'm 2 ways on that. Okay, we drew a success out of that. We are on half momentum on the pool. We are... I'm going to say we're that far through it. Okay. We've still got a little bit of ways to go, but we are building. We are building momentum here. So now we have put the inspirational words of the captain through the ship. We've started... we've plotted a navigational course from Candidate 3 to Narendra Station. Now what? What step do you think is next to successfully get you to where we need to go out of this bubble? Bearing in mind, at some point, the deflector is going to have to be turned off when the radiation starts coming in.
Do you want to find a way to...
not communicate, but can we try and the other Do Qe'Bachs, can we try and join their computers all together with this one?
Interesting. You can. You've got the advantage of normally the same matter cannot occupy the same space at the same time. In this place, it's a bit more fluid, shall we say. And if you're uniting computational powers together, all you're doing really is transmitting energy from one ship to the next. Now, the funny thing about what Dr. O'Keefe is proposing is normally you would set up communication lines between the ships in order to get them to coordinate and to transmit data from one person to another. You might still need to do that. But there's also the quantum consideration that all of these ships are already reflections of each other, therefore anything that you do, they are doing too.
Okay. So we don't really need the communications, do we?
But you might need the Heisenberg compensator. No, the Heisenberg or the relativistic compensator. Maybe both.
So we do need...
We need to alter something on the ship because the computer is drawing upon power, and essentially that additional computation power is being drawn from itself, just in different time points, maybe. So it's this weird, almost mind-melting thing of technically the computer is feeding on itself in this weird Mobius strip-like thing.
Can we repair the communications then quickly?
That might make it easier if you believe that's going to make it easier. So yeah, anyone who's got
so the computer can communicate with itself.
Yeah, exactly. Which is gonna be freaking weird, but yeah, essentially that. So you're gonna want someone with blimey. If you want to repair the comms, then that's simple enough. That's just daring and engineering for repair.
Oh, Tre'gok can definitely help there.
Well, hang on, let me check my daring. Oh yeah, okay, I can lead that.
Cool.
All right.
So, if you want to see to that first, in order to repair the comms, so that you can facilitate this new thing that you're about to do.
What is Tre'gok's daring and engineering?
11 and 4.
Okay, yeah, you go. I'm 9 and 4.
So
yeah,
Keitha can just propose it, but it's Tre'gok and maybe Shalatha that actually brings it about.
If no one is
rolling 1.
Additional die, the captain can assist as well.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to have. Oh, we need 4, don't we?
You need 4, so you need 1 more to come out of somewhere.
Yeah, come on.
So we do want the captain to assist.
Yeah.
So this is going to cost you a momentum point.
We got a few spare.
Yeah. Okay.
So either the captain or the science officer. The captain, okay. Wait, look at that.
That's it.
Exactly 4. So who are we using here? We're using Shalatha's engineering of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see, where are we? Are we past halfway? Nearly, but not quite. Ooh. Alright then. What's next? You've repaired the comm system.
And to get the computer to talk to itself.
Alright. Well, you put it like that.
Because if that gets us over halfway, I think Dr. Akiva will say, let's turn the deflector off.
Sure. Okay, cool. So then, someone is going to have to give me reason and science for communications to get it to... communications and computer technology, so... There's probably going to be quantum mechanics involved in this somewhere.
I was going to say,
computer use.
I'll take lead because I've got. Is it reason and science?
Reason, science, yes.
Yeah, they're both at max, so 12 and 5.
Anybody else want to join in?
I'm happy to assist. Just let me know. I mean,
Yeah.
the captain level commanders.
This is actually quite cool because the captain does seem to be getting actively involved in everything, but just from a command point of view. You do this, everybody join together, you do this. So the captain, to this point, is literally acting as the locus point, the focus point around which everything else is revolving. And I like it.
Anyone else?
That's entirely up to you guys. We are down to 2 momentum.
I mean, if they really want, I have 4 science, 9 reason. That's if they really want Bonnet.
I tell you what, let us roll the dice and see where we're at.
Okay.
2, and
Yeah,
then
we need
1
we
from
need
Qe'Bach, so
Bonnet.
that's 3 overall, and 1 more coming in from somewhere else is...
We need a bonnet.
We do need a bonnet, it seems, so you are going to have to spend that momentum to get a bonnet on this.
Do you want me to? There you
There we
go.
are, momentum's gone. Bonnet,
Alright.
do your thing.
I don't think I have any focuses.
In this kind of quantum widgy-woo, no, but nevertheless, 1 success puts you on. And
she
Okeetha's
does have a 10
science.
scrutiny. Which, because this was reason.
Intense scrutiny, which means when you succeed a task, you ignore any resistance. Yep, that's where that went. You are over halfway to where you need to go, which means you've made a breakthrough, which means you can bring the resistance down or bring the difficulty down. The resistance hasn't been hurting you too much, but it is the difficulty that's been making you burn through your momentum, so I would suggest that. But it's up to you guys. How would you like to proceed?
I think reducing the difficulty.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Difficulty has come down through all that collective work that has gone into this preparation. You are now ready. It comes down to the actual doing the task. So you've got computers across different Do Qe'Bachs, all working towards the same computational aim. You have repaired communication systems, you've got everybody working together, the captain has inspired everyone. We are as ready as we're going to be, it's time to actually do something. who wants to go first? What's the first thing that we're going to do? We got the course plotted, besides pull the deflector shield down.
So deflector shield down. What's the usual thing? It's like getting warp core ready to go into warp.
If you think that's what needs to happen next, then that can be what happens next.
Because if all the things are working, then yeah.
Then yeah, shunting power into the engines might be, especially because you've only got one working nacelle. So this could be the next thing. It'd be to have your chief engineer start pouring power into what needs to be poured. Don't forget, you also do have reserve power, which means that if you choose to spend reserve power, you can have the ship, anything that you have the ship aiding you with, like, for instance, what we're about to do, pouring power into systems, you can spend your reserve power to make the ship's roll an automatic 1.
When do you want to do that, though?
Well, that's the question. What do you guys think? Because you can work to get it back, and that would be an action in and of itself.
Okay.
So use reserve power here, then try and get reserve power back, and then use reserve power at the end when Bonnet, puts us into warp.
So that would be the next 3 actions you're looking at there? Churn the power in, churn the power up, then regain the reserve power, and then plot the course and engage.
Yeah, but I want the captain to kind of do something before we engage in flight.
Okay.
Like, like you did with the speech. If he's if the captain's the central focus of this, and we're all focusing now on that, and the captain's focusing on,
Well, as long as you get the captain to aid in those tasks in some fashion, then that contributes to what you were just saying. Keeping the captain as the central point that this is all revolving around.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion anyway. Feel free for anybody else to come up with any other ideas they can think of.
Anybody else?
Anybody got anything else they can think of?
No.
No.
Trying to think.
Alright then first
Trying to come up with anything.
Is power! So, we are going to have this obviously aided by the ships. This is Shalatha, your chief engineer, throwing power through the reactor. So this will definitely be well, depending on how Chris wants Shalatha to do this, you can either use control and engineering to do this by the numbers, or you can be a bit more adventurous with the fact that you are trying something very, very new here and throw in daring instead. In a doing it by instinct rather than rote procedure kind of thing.
My daring is like my highest attribute, so I'd go for that one.
So, when you perform this task, Chris, have the ship assisting, so tag the ship assisting button, and we'll be looking the ship to contribute engines and engineering to this.
Okay,
but
so
the captain also gets to add presence and command as an aid. Yes, Dave, sorry, you were going to say.
Are we using reserve power?
Are you indeed using reserve power? To make the ships roll an automatic 1.
So we can get the reserve power back.
Can you do that?
I guess we can if we want to guarantee a success.
So if you're using focus, let me just run a test roll here to see if that's possible. Sorry. On my view, when I'm in Lieutenant Shalatha's character sheet, I checked using focus. I kept it a number of dice in pool to 2. I checked the is the ship assisting box, and the starship it gave me as an option was Borg Cube.
Nice.
Nope,
Nice.
not that one. That's not what we're doing here.
Fantastic. We are now Borg.
That's our third
Whoops,
crew.
daisy. No, we're
Yep. Oh, I can't wait until next week when we start to be Borg.
You believe this so much that you actually warp your ship. Something goes wrong and you believe your ship to be a Borg cube, and oh dear, that would be horrible.
I thought it was our third crew. We've got the Combs, we've got the Do Qe'Bach, and now we've got the Cube.
So there's no way of me actually being able to put in this box that we are using reserve power, and therefore we'll get an automatic roll of a 1, which would be it's probably something cool that the guys who worked on the Foundry interface for this, they've done a superb job as is. That could be something interesting to add in future, but we can't do it. So it's up to you guys if you want to use reserve power here in order to make the ships roll an automatic 1.
Can we easily restore?
The action of restoring reserve power, if I go and check the rules, is reserve power. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. I should be looking at the actions that folks can take. Reference cards. Hello, respond please. Ooh, this is being extremely. Let's try this again. Second edition reference cards. Operations. Regaining power is a control and engineering task with a difficulty of 1 to restore reserve power. So that would be an easier task to overcome.
Yeah, use reserve power.
Alrighty. Then it's just your roll, then, Chris, for daring and engineering with a focus, I assume, and the captain can assist.
Cool. Daring, engineering, focus, boom.
Oh,
Wowza!
Whoa.
And if we assume that we're using reserve power, throwing all our power into it, that gives the ship a roll of 1, which is an additional 2, which gives us a 6. Which means you go 1, 2, 3. Momentum back.
That's what I wanted.
Damn, and we are using Shalatha's engineering score for this, because this is how it's working now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo, that is a big success there. Not quite the next breakthrough, but we're very, very close. There is a audible hum. Audible increase in the hum that is coming out of the engines as all this additional power is shunted into not just the nacelles but also the warp field itself. Actually, it's the nacelle that controls the warp field, but you know what I mean. The engines are now humming with power. Some things in engineering do come loose, so steam starts venting from various places, and the reactor starts crackling with extra power, but it's holding together. And you're ready to let the Do Qe'Bach off of its lead. So you have 2 actions remaining, essentially, to accomplish. What's the next one?
The power back.
Get the power back. Whoever wants to do it, like I said, that action is a control and engineering.
Ooh, Tre'gok could do that.
Somebody different trying it? Okay.
Do you want any assistance?
What's the difficulty again?
Ooh, now it's normally 1. Because you are doing a standard task, I am letting this come down to its standard difficulty of 1. Just for this action.
I am assuming as Captain I'm just forever assisting.
Yes.
Oh, yep. Go on then. I'll
So
steal
by all
a
means.
dice to also roll for 3. The dice have just gone off my screen.
That's fine. That's 1. That's 2.
Ooh, that's not
one you
great.
needed and 1 extra. Whoops-a-daisy, pardon me. I put one off. But that's reserve
I
power.
can.
Come back.
I could still use my command to have them.
Yeah, you can still
Tre'gok
re-roll one of those dice. Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be a 22.
No, you could re-roll any. It says that you can re-roll. You can re-roll any of them. And there's
Re-roll
two
a
19s in there, so you may as well re-roll one of those.
Dude.
Roll this one. That's better.
Boom!
Booyaka Shah. So that was an additional one on top of what you just got. Nice. You are this close. Everything is coming together. You can almost feel the static electricity in the air as everyone is coming together in this one point, this one purpose. The ship is ready to be let off its leash and is practically growling. The engines are growling with the intent of just going at full speed, getting back home, out of this place. There's only one action that remains. You have achieved your second breakthrough, so this becomes the big thing. I'm going to say I'm going to lower the resistance down. So we're still at difficulty 3. It's time to get the ship out of here, Bonnet. This will be aided by the ship. So, bit of echo from myself here. What will the ship aid with? The ship will aid with engines and con. And as ever, the captain can join in. You've got extra momentum. If other people want to join in as well, pour their own personal focus into this.
We've only got one dice left.
Sure. So at least one other person can contribute if they really want to.
Is it con?
Con, yes.
Oh, you don't want me doing that.
You don't have to. There's plenty of successes in there.
Anybody want to?
Going once.
Go for it.
Right.
No. Okay, we'll stick with what we got. That was 3, it takes 4, that goes back in, and we come through. Way. Okay, so there is the audible build-up that you usually get for when your ship is about to plunge through space using its warp engines. Now then, just as you feel the ship about to lurch forward, each of you receives in your minds a brush of a telepathic contact. It seems one of the Tilical is reaching out to you, and you get this voice, or impression of a voice in your minds collectively. Please, saviors, I need but a moment to offer you my assistance. I am Turlanumian. As you may know, we can sometimes touch the minds of those outside of our pocket universe. Our previous attempts have been unstable and unpredictable, but if I could link with one of you whilst you are still in our dimension, the connection might remain strong enough for communication between universes. I could advise you on Tilical technology during the rescue. Does anybody want to take this Turlanumian up on their offer?
Ooh, not Tre'gok.
Would Rin volunteer as a Vulcan who can also barricade her mind if needed?
Interesting point. Turin is willing to offer herself if that's what you think is wise and what's needed. Anybody else?
Bonnie's tempted because of cultural studies.
Oh. Well, if Bonnie wants to do it.
Yeah. Is Bonnet going to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the answer I learned about this culture.
Okay, cool. So what happens is, there is a sudden blue glow that surrounds Bonnet, and her eyes fill with this very same light for a moment, but then eventually the blue glow disappears. The light in Bonnet's eyes remains for a little bit, but it does eventually fade. And Bonnet blinks a little bit as she suddenly comes back into herself and realizes that, oh yeah, she's at the controls of the ship as it's about to lurch forwards. And she regains herself. Doesn't feel much different. There was a slight sense of dizziness for a moment there, but otherwise Bonnet feels no different, feels okay, feels the same. And then returns to the matter at hand, the ship being led off its lead and suddenly lurching forwards into warp. And as the ship does, the whole forward viewer fills with all these sparkling motes of energy that dance before you as the computers suddenly leap to life and start realizing that they're in a quantum state, and therefore they can plot their exit route using the fact that they are in actual ninth dimensional space rather than three-dimensional space. And so there's a sudden flash and a lurch as the ship bursts through the membrane, and the ship comes to a sudden halt. And as you look outside, you see Narendra Station is there. And you
Coming in for repairs.
a number of incoming hails after a moment. As the combs come sweeping around along with the Mapui, and they are both asking for status reports, along with, where did you just come from?
Long story.
Well, indeed. It worked. You did it. That feeling of sudden interconnectedness, that charge in the air has gone, and everything definitely feels like normal. In fact, it's almost like gravity has come back to what you expected it to be, and you feel not heavier, but you feel like everything is now like it should be, as if you'd come off of a long spacewalk and come back onto regular gravity, and you feel more settled in yourselves, as if everything's right with the world again. And that's when you hear the sudden groan come from the infrastructure of the ship, and it's a case of, oh yeah, geez, this thing is really in bad shape. So, yes, the Do Qe'Bach has been places that nobody else has been to, and so there's going to probably be a very long debrief, but more than anything else, Turin is still with you, and is very much relieved to see that she is now back home as well. But there's probably going to be a long story there too, from her point of view. But you did this. You collectively worked together of a plan that was entirely of your own devising, and you just had to A, believe it, and B, work with what you had and who you had, and it all came together. And a part of some of you, especially those with high scientific understanding, start to gain an inkling now as to what kind of power that the Tilical must have had at their highest point, if this was the kind of forces they could draw upon. Something like almost as simple as just believing it would come to pass, and then it comes to pass through some method. This might go some way now to explaining how it was that the Tilical were able to achieve such incredible technological feats. But it also speaks to what they might be able to achieve in the future if they were able to escape their confinement. What kind of feats would they be capable of performing if they were able to finally get out of that pocket dimension? But those are definitely considerations for another time. Like we've said, the Do Qe'Bach crew have been through quite a bit, and have quite a bit of repairs and debriefs in their immediate future. We will leave that for now. Unless anybody has got anything that they want to add specifically. Or are their characters all just eager to get back home? Or what passes for home?
Want to go home?
Mm-hmm.
Time to go home.
All good.
Okay.
Bonnie's looking forward to countless hours of the holodeck.
Yes! Think you've earned some. Think you've earned a few goes on the holodeck after all of that. So, next episode after this, I think, again, we'll have the choice of who you think would be best to conduct it. So you will get the choice of either using the combs or the Do Qe'Bach, depending on how much time has passed on the next episode. You can make that decision for yourselves when we get there. Until that time, however, that's the end of this episode. So next week will more than likely be the inter-episode break, which will be where my Pathfinder guys will appear. So the next time we should be coming back together for Star Trek should be the 12th of April, if that's agreeable with folks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. At which point then?
I had fun. I enjoyed not being the captain for a few days.
That was pretty cool. And I like how it did all come together, that the captain got so involved in everything going towards the end that it fit what was supposed to be happening, which was everybody collaborating together. I apologise if folks have been watching this and the frame rate has been absolute garbage. If not, then it's just me, and therefore that's okay. But I will try and get this fixed as soon as I can. But until then, yes, well, new frontiers indeed. But until then, we will say thank you very much, folks, for attending. We will see you at the next episode. Until then, do like the Vulcans and the Klingons do, which is work together towards a common goal and find that you can achieve pretty much anything. But glory to your houses, and also live long and prosper. This world is still as crazy as it ever was, and so it needs people to treat each other with kindness and respect and understanding. Thank you, Suitable Substrate, for hanging around with us one more time, and it's great to have chat actually work again. So thanks a lot for attending, folks. This has been great, and we'll see what shenanigans we get up to next time as we decide who gets to act next, the Do Qe'Bach or the Combs. Who knows? It might be both. Until then, thanks very much for watching, everybody. If you're watching this on YouTube later on and you liked it, consider giving us a like so that the algorithm can turn more in our direction. But until that time, thank you very much, folks, for attending, and we will see you when we see you again, hailing frequencies